Today I wanted to talk about telecommuting or working remote from home, from a coffee shop, a hotel room, wherever you can find wireless access. It's an excellent way, I think, to improve your employee morale. You can also save money on office space. It also helps with lower automotive emissions. In fact, working from a location other than an official job site allows workers greater independence regarding your work and your work location. It helps to give employees more flexibility to balance their work and personal obligations. For example, just last week, my children had a snow day at school, and they're able to just stay home while I'm working from home. That way, the company didn't lose out on me having to take a day off, and I was still able to get all of my work done. It's very helpful. Telecommuting opportunities are great for people that can't leave the house, or housebound people with disabilities, single parents, any parent, actually anybody. Don't even need to be a parent. The internet, fax, phone, webcam, and instant messaging are some of the technological advances that make telecommuting possible. The top industries offering this opportunity include sales, customer service, marketing, medical and health, computer and information technology, education, government, and finance. Nowadays, there's a lot of data entry companies that implement this policy to help clients manage their data in a timely, efficient, and a very secure manner. Major companies, including Google and Intel, have proved telecommuting can be successful. Well-designed, well-organized, and well-managed telecommuting programs can offer a lot of different benefits to both employees and employers. These include increased productivity. As employees, you don't have the distractions of the office space or the chit-chat by the water cooler. It is better for the health and the environment of the employees, and it helps keep older generations in the workforce. It reduces your operating costs, also reduces your employee turnover and absenteeism. Teleworkers are more satisfied with their jobs and therefore are more likely to perform better, stay longer with the company. Telecommuting is definitely, I believe, the future of work. Companies that allow their employees to telecommunicate are increasing year after year. Flex Jobs in the Global Workplace and Analytics have released the 2017 State of Telecommuting in the U.S. Employee Workforce Report, which shows that 3.9 million U.S. employees, or 2.9% of the total U.S. workforce, work from home at least half of the time. There has been a 150% increase in telecommuting between 2005 and 2015. And about the same number of men and women telecommute, so it's not one-sided in any way. 40% more U.S. employers offer flexible workspace options in 2017 than they did in 2010. A few things to consider before you do implement this program for your staff, before you let them work from home. Technology. The success of telecommuting programs is based on the technical support provided to the employees. The organization, you should provide equipment to telecommuting employees to get work done effectively. The organization should decide who will be responsible for setting up and providing maintenance on the equipment, whether the employee needs to bring the equipment into the office for scheduled maintenance and upgrades, or whether it can be handled remotely. Email and web conferences, phone conferences, and internal websites or networks that can be accessed from a remote location also contribute to the success of the telecommuting program. Employers should observe their organization's IT infrastructure and determine whether their employees will be able to access the information and communicate with other employees, which is necessary to do their tasks. The next factor to consider whether the employee is eligible to work from home. They should determine whether the attitude and work ethics and personalities of the employee align with the company's expectations of telecommuting. Not everyone can be productive when the boss is never around, so it's really essential to make sure that the employee will be successful at executing the arrangement. For that, the employer should consider the past performance of each employee, the nature of their position, how long they've been with the company, and so on. How frequently a staff member can telecommute, such as full-time, once a week, or once a month. In a major company like Xerox, an employee takes a self-assessment to determine if telework is a realistic option before considering this. Then the manager will take a similar assessment about the employee, and both of them discuss their options together. There was another major company, I believe is Aetna, that evaluates their work options based on three things that include the individual. Does the employee have the right capabilities and competencies? The job function. Can the work be performed at home? And the home environment must meet security standards. A lot of the work that we do, we have to make sure that we meet HIPAA standards. So all of our programs are secure, and we need to make sure that they stay secure within the home. Another thing is education and training. Another factor that the organization should also consider must be providing training to managers on how to effectively manage remote staff. It is essential to ensure that managers know how to communicate and collaborate with your virtual employees and vice versa. They should understand the soft skills as well, how to use the right technologies to facilitate the desired interaction. It's also really important that virtual employees should receive their own type of training. Another thing to consider is the cost. Telecommuting does involve costs. The organization should determine whether they will have to pay for an internet connection, a phone connection, or a cell phone contract. These costs must be considered before authorizing an employee to telecommute. If it's not cost effective for the company, then it would not be wise to implement this policy. And also, I really think a big thing that you need to set are your standards and expectations for each employee that is given this opportunity. Because I do believe it's an opportunity. Employees are required to sign a telecommuting agreement that would outline the various aspects of the telecommuting arrangement. Things that should be included in this agreement are, I would say, the agreed upon telecommuting schedule, what constitutes an approved remote workspace, expectations of availability during core business hours, maintaining proprietary and confidential information, a liability waiver for the organization for loss or damage at an employee's home, requirements for daycare or dependent care during the working hours, workers' compensation, employees' approved workspaces considered an extension of the organization. It's an extension of your office, and during work hours while the employee is performing these work functions, all company policies are still applied. So expectations for conducting meetings with other employees and clients. Employees and managers will regularly revisit the telecommunicating arrangement and determine if it is appropriate and effective for the telecommuting agreement to continue. It really is a privilege. I really feel like it's important to explicitly state that remote work is a privilege and that it can be revoked if it is found that an employee is not meeting their expectations while working outside the office. This will notify the employees that certain standards must be maintained in order to continue working off-site. Considering these factors while developing a telecommuting program will allow your organization to determine if telecommunicating is appropriate and help place the parameters around the program that suit the organization. I love being able to telecommunicate. It has helped me in so many different ways, my family and my husband, so when he can continue to further his career, I can continue with mine. So I really think it's a benefit. I wouldn't change it for the world, but there are definitely measures you need to keep in place. If you want to learn a little more, please visit our website at www.managedoutsource.com.